Welcome to Dr. Mercola's Cellular Wisdom. Stay informed with quick, easy-to-listen summaries of our latest articles, perfect for when you're on the go. No reading required. Subscribe for free at mercola.com for the latest health insights.
Your risk of life-threatening complications doesn't end when you leave the delivery room. Are you prepared for the critical months that follow? Hello, and welcome to Dr. Mercola's Cellular Wisdom. I'm Ethan Foster, joined by Alara Skye. And today we unpack new findings that maternal deaths in the United States climbed nearly 28% in just 5 years.
That surge came from an NIH analysis of more than 10 million birth and death certificates between 2018 and 2022. Crucially, the researchers tracked women for a full year after delivery, not just through childbirth. By widening the lens, they discovered that 1 in every 3 pregnancy-related deaths happens after the traditional 6-week checkup.
So, if you assume recovery ends once your 6-week visit is over, you could miss the most dangerous period. Among women aged 25 to 39, the age group many consider the safest reproductive window, deaths shot up 36.8%. That's a wake-up call for anyone planning a family or already pregnant.
Where you live matters, too. State rates ranged from 18.5 to 59.7 deaths per 100,000 live births. Alabama topped the list. California ranked safest. The researchers calculated that if every state matched California's performance, more than 2,600 mothers would still be alive today.
Race and ethnicity create another fault line. American Indian and Alaska Native mothers faced 106.3 deaths per 100,000 live births, almost 4 times the risk for non-Hispanic white mothers. Black mothers followed at 76.9. Those stark gaps highlight systemic barriers that many families must fight through to get adequate care.
Let's talk timing. Late maternal deaths, those occurring from 43 days to 1 year postpartum, accounted for 30% of the total. Cardiovascular disorders led the list at 4.7 deaths per 100,000, closely followed by cancer, endocrine conditions, drug and alcohol-related deaths, and mental or behavioral disorders. Because several conditions can overlap, one tragedy often has multiple medical causes.
6 weeks clearly isn't long enough for routine follow-up. If you had a complicated pregnancy, existing heart issues, or even unmanaged high blood pressure, you need regular check-ins for months, not just one appointment. Push for it. Your life could depend on that extra visit.
The crisis extends to newborns. For the first time in 20 years, U.S. infant mortality rose, up 3% from 2021 to 2022. Male infant deaths climbed 3.9%. Female deaths 2%. Both neonatal and post-neonatal periods saw increases, showing risk persists throughout a baby's first year.
Maternal complications explained an 8.6% jump in infant deaths, while bacterial sepsis rose 13.7%. Preterm infants, especially those born before 34 weeks, remain the most vulnerable. 4 states, Georgia, Iowa, Missouri, and Texas, drove much of the national rise, whereas Nevada was the only state with a significant decline.
Here's the irony. The U.S. spends more per person on healthcare than any other high-income nation, yet infants and mothers fare worse. In 2020, the U.S. infant mortality rate was more than triple Norway's. Maternal deaths ran more than 3 times higher than peer countries such as France, Canada, and the UK.
Researchers point to high cesarean rates, inconsistent prenatal care, chronic conditions like obesity and diabetes, and broader socioeconomic stressors. A peer-reviewed study even found a positive correlation between countries with higher childhood vaccine dose counts and increased infant mortality, a relationship that warrants further investigation.
If you're pregnant or recently delivered, you can act now. Step 1. Track your symptoms daily. Chest pain, sudden shortness of breath, leg swelling, heart palpitations, or persistent headaches are red flags. Seek care immediately no matter what anyone says about normal recovery.
Step 2. Insist on follow-up beyond 6 weeks. Schedule multiple visits in the first 3 to 6 months, especially if you had gestational diabetes, hypertension, or a cesarean. Bring a partner or friend to advocate for you if resources are limited in your area.
Step 3. Manage pre-existing conditions from day 1. Monitor blood pressure at home. Use a glucose meter if you dealt with gestational diabetes. and have your provider recheck thyroid or iron levels. Staying on top of these numbers catches dangerous trends early.
Step 4. Build your own support team. Friends, family, doulas, or midwives trained in postpartum care can fill gaps when hospitals are understaffed. Regular check-ins help you spot physical or emotional warning signs before they escalate.
Step 5. Make informed choices about interventions such as inductions, scans, shots, or surgery. Question what's truly necessary for your case. Protocol isn't always personalized, so weigh risks and benefits carefully for both you and your baby.
Preparation starts even earlier. If you're planning a pregnancy, improve body composition now. Target roughly 0.8 grams of protein per pound of lean mass. Stack your plate with antioxidant-rich fruits and vegetables, and meet folate and iodine needs. If tolerated, modest servings of wild-caught sardines or Alaskan salmon supply D, HA, and EPA, while keeping omega-3s in check.
At the same time, minimize linoleic acid by limiting vegetable oils and highly processed foods. Excess LA can impair fetal growth and heighten oxidative stress. Even nuts and seeds contain LA, so keep portions reasonable.
Regular exercise, 150 minutes of moderate activity a week, cuts risks of pregnancy-induced hypertension and preeclampsia. Break sessions into shorter blocks if needed. Consistency is what matters.
Managing chronic conditions before conception pays off later. If you have insulin resistance, high blood pressure, autoimmune disease, or gut dysfunction, stabilize them now to reduce surprises during pregnancy.
Protect your mental health as well. Hormonal shifts amplify anxiety and depression risk. Prioritize quality sleep and use techniques like deep breathing, mindfulness, or emotional freedom techniques to strengthen emotional resilience.
Finally, get daily sun exposure for vitamin D. Aim for about 20 minutes at safe times. Measure your levels twice a year and keep them between 60 and 80 nanograms per milliliter for optimal benefits, especially regarding preterm birth and fetal development.
Before we close, let's tackle quick OFAQs. What qualifies as a late maternal death? Any pregnancy-related death occurring from 43 days to 1 year postpartum. Why is postpartum care limited to 6 weeks? Outdated guidelines that don't match modern risks. Leading causes after 6 weeks: cardiovascular disorders, cancer, endocrine issues, substance-related deaths, and mental health problems.
Why are U.S. rates higher than peer nations? Inadequate postpartum care, socioeconomic disparities, and an intervention-heavy system compound the problem. Steps to lower your risk: strengthen pre-pregnancy health, log symptoms daily, push for follow-up, and build a support network.
Here's your practical challenge. Choose one action right now. Schedule an extra postpartum appointment, start a symptom journal, or adjust your daily diet to cut linoleic acid, and commit to it this week. You're not just checking a box, you're actively protecting your life and your child's future.
Thank you for watching Dr. Mercola's Cellular Wisdom. We'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe now and click the notification bell so you never miss an update. See you in the next video.